First panelist is going to be Ali. He's the CEO of Neko. They are the gateway for Hyperliquid. I guess everyone knows Hyperliquid, so I will avoid to make the intro. Ali, please, stage is yours, man. Big of applause.
Thank you. GM guys. Okay, there we go. GM guys. Can I get a raise of hands? Who was in Dubai, Token2049 last year? Yeah, a little bit drier this time, right? Yeah, as Ali mentioned, I'm the co-founder and CEO of Neko and Omo. Omo is the parent company in Neko, and Neko is the gateway to Hyperliquid. What is Hyperliquid? I don't really think it needs much of an introduction, but for people that aren't indoctrinated into the cult, Hyperliquid is the #1 on-chain business as of late. They generate roughly 1.25 to 1.3 M in revenue per day on their perps exchange. Hyperliquid has Hyper EVM and Hypercore. Hypercore is the order book that is quite popular. They've been building that out for 2 years, and Hyper EVM just went live in February. This is just another EVM chain that actually interoperates with the order book liquidity and volume respectively. And they have a bunch of schizo memes, right? Hypeos, SPH 800, a bunch of wealthy people post TGE as well, and obviously a lot of KOLs, influencers, Syphilis, Ansem, Base16Z, David Gills, just to name a couple off the top of the head, and obviously meme coins like Per, Alright Buddy, etc. Why was Hyper EVM built? Hyper EVM was built to make the order book more programmable. Well, what does this really mean is that with pre-compiles, which actually just dropped yesterday, you can actually read and write to state of the order book from the EVM, and this unlocks a new plethora of use cases, whether you want to tap into the order book liquidity as like a smaller niche application, or if you want to get more accurate price feed oracles using the order book price feeds for your respective e-app. And before I dive too deep into what we're doing at Neko and why we're building on top of Hyperliquid, I want to talk a bit about what an AI agent is. There's a plethora of different definitions. To put it simply, you could say that Claude with one MCP tool of looking at your emails and writing emails for you could be an agent, right? And you could go down the advanced spectrum of adding your own RAG, CAG, long-term memory, short-term memory, reinforcement learning, and a suite of tools to make this agent more performant. But essentially, in my opinion, an agent is just a bot with agentic reasoning, which is powered by the base model. And this unlocks a new suite of benefits. Obviously, latency goes up because of inference, but ideally performance goes up as well because you're tapping into much more performant intelligence, non-deterministic execution, and obviously reasoning capacity if you're tapping into one of these reasoning models like Sonnet 3.7, Gemini 2.5 Pro. When Series 3 just dropped a new suite of models that are reasoning as well, so tapping into those models. And then what is DeFiAI? DeFiAI is really just reducing the user friction to get the ideal customer output, if not a more performant output than what we see in the current DeFi context, right? If you guys are power DeFi users or power application users, you have to sign so many messages, you have to do approvals, revoke approvals. It's really cumbersome and difficult to actually get past the activation energy to build out your own respective strategy on chain. In DeFiAI, essentially you have an agent servicing as the intermediary between the user intent and the execution within the respective protocol. So really just streamlining user intents to applications in a much more easy manner. And then entering Neko. Neko is the first DeFiAI swarm on top of Hyperliquid. Essentially, it's going to be your gateway to Hyperliquid. This is a vertically integrated platform for whatever you want to do on top of Hyperliquid. Whether you want to trade spot, perps, structured yield products, on-ramps, off-ramp solutions, so on and so forth. I'll dive a bit deeper into that later, but why build Hyperliquid? Why build AI on Hyperliquid? As Jeff mentioned earlier in this podcast with, I think, the Steady Lads, he said that Hyper EVM was built to make the order book more programmable. Well, the goal with Neko is to actually make the order book more intelligent and dynamic respectively by implementing AI, machine learning algorithms, reinforcement learning, and AI agents within the order book itself from EVM intents or intents on the order book itself. This can unlock a new suite of products, right? So structured vault products, this is your Urine, your Morphos, for example, that can do arbitrage, built-in neutral strategies, dynamic rebalancing between the different AMMs on top of the EVM. Using exotic collateral as margin, this is a use case that I'm quite excited about, where you can actually have an agent take out a collateralized loan on the EVM, route that over to the order book, sell that for USDC, and then use that USDC as margin. So if you want to use Bitcoin, if you want to use Hype, if you want to use USOL from Hyperunit as collateral on the order book, that is possible with Neko. And then streamline on and off ramping. One core issue with Hyperliquid is that they have a distribution issue. They have really good power users, they have great traders, they have a good builder community. But when I talk to people outside of the Hyperliquid ecosystem, not only do they not know much about it, the second thing is that they don't even know how to get onto the chain respectively. If you don't know what D-Bridge is, you have to go to a niche smart contract on Arbitrum to actually get your capital on top of Hyperliquid. So they have a distribution issue, and we believe we can solve this using AI agents with Neko and our own proprietary on and off ramping solutions. This is like a high-level overview of like the architecture, a bunch of shit going on here. For like the social agent, using Eliza for the on-chain agent, we have a plethora of different on-chain agents, but we're gonna be using the ARC or RAG-based agent framework. And essentially you have sub-agents, sub-vaults that basically execute different products on Hyper EVM. This is a bit deeper dive into Neko's DeFiAI architecture. When you look at DeFiAI, the common UX pattern is using NLPs, or natural language processing interfaces, to actually prompt the LLM to do your on-chain execution for you. I've spoken to multiple traders, multiple builders, multiple users about this. They don't feel comfortable typing in their prompts and then having an agent execute on behalf for them, whether they're not good prompt engineers, they're worried about prompt injection. Those are a core couple of things. So with our architecture, all you need to do is just deposit into a vault, and that deposit event log is actually going to service as the prompt for the respective base model. And then we have a multi-agent system here. You have your planner agent, replaner agent, executor agent, action planner agent. External data, RAG, I'm sure we're familiar with RAG here, retrieval augmented generation. This is just fine-tuned to Hyper EVM, the respective applications, inflows, outflows, heuristics, etc. CAG is a new form of RAG, cache augmented generation. This doesn't use vector embeddings. This actually just auto-imports the entire DB into the respective context window of the LLM. So this is actually, you can conceptualize it as like a system prompt for yield management, risk optimization, and heuristics we defined internally. So the planner agent makes the plan for the yield strategy. The replanner agent actually revises the plan and drafts over it. This is one design pattern Gemini 2.5 Pro does that is actually quite performant in terms of being competitive with the latest models. Executor agent basically collects the tools for the set strategy, and then the action planner agent is actually the agent that calls to the different Neko bots to write state to the EVM or to the order book. And then yes, the vision for Neko, vertically integrated consumer-facing platform using AI on the back end. We want to highlight that AI agents are not just going to be in DeFi, it's going to be in payments, it's going to be in everything, marketing, etc. DeFi is just the lowest hanging fruit, and we want to highlight that if we build out a good enough product that gets enough traction with the respective applications, we want to create the first agentic execution layer on top of Hyper EVM. And then yeah, I believe that's about it. And then yeah, what is Omo? Omo is the parent company of Neko. Omo, in the first phase, we're doing agents as a service. So we're essentially building out proprietary agent products for different teams, foundations, etc. To showcase our domain expertise and long-term vision, we want to build a PyTorch or TensorFlow for crypto AI. The crypto AI stack is very fragmented with all these different decentralized AI infrastructure pieces like decentralized training, decentralized compute, verifiable inference, agent private key security, the list goes on. So we essentially just want to streamline it. And then, yeah, currently we're doing ASS. I love ASS. I am an ASS man. And then, yes, that is the conclusion. Thank you. Any questions? My favorite thing about building on top of Hyperliquid is the community. Yeah, the community is pretty ravenous, they're retarded, and it's very bullish.